Welcome to PMI Manitoba's podcast series, Keeping It Real, where we talk about real stories, project insights, and community success. Here's our episode 4, entitled Single Parenting is Teaching Me Management Skills with our special guest, Tharim Sanchez, practice lead for project and business transformation at Informanix Technology Group, hosted by our news desk team member, Sheila Ramirez. So let's dive into it.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who is watching and listening to our PMI News Desk, Keeping It Real. Today, we have a very special guest, Tharim Sanchez. How are you, Tharim?
Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me to this podcast. Yes, I'm Tharim Sanchez. Maybe some of you have seen me before. If not, then, well, I am from Colombia. I'm here in Canada now in Winnipeg and very happy to be talking to Sheila today.
So, Tharim, would you like to tell all our audience joining us today who is Tharim before we dive into your questions?
Okay. Who is me? Well, we were just saying when we started recording that I am an introvert by nature. And
like me.
Yes, but even so, I think I always try to question myself and to ask myself, what should I do? What could I to be better at whatever role that I have? So I am an introvert, but I try to do my best, whether it's as a mom, as a worker, as a teacher, or any of the many roles that we usually have. So I think I quite often wonder, like, okay, now what should I do to do this better? To be a better person, a better professional, a better daughter. Like, I work right now with Informanix Technology Group. Been working with them for over 2 years now. The story is nice because I know about them when I started my university program at the University of Manitoba, and I had this assignment to check for some companies that I would like to be working for, and some people that would be like key people to connect with in the field that I wanted to be working. So that the current Informanix CEO, Kyle, was the president, a former president of the PMI Manitoba. That was one of the reasons that I checked and I said, I want to be connecting with PMI Manitoba members and check what they're doing and get a little more in context of what's happening here in Manitoba in terms of project management. And then after a few months when I was searching for a job, I considered Informanix, I started looking again my assignment and I said, Informanix is one of these nice companies that I was checking. A coincidence, or maybe not coincidence, but they posted like an opening, and I said, it was not quite the job that I was looking for. But then I reached out to them, and then I got involved. Was hired and story began there. I also am helping as a volunteer for the PMI Manitoba now. 2 different programs. I started with the Projects for Social Good program as a mentor, and then recently for the Level Up program. It's a mentorship program. And it's been almost 2 years with the Projects for Social Good and 6 months with the mentorship program, the Level Up program. They are totally different, but they are both rewarding programs. Like, it has changed my perspective on how to project my profession. Like, it actually changed some of the ways that I said, like, what do I want to be as a professional? And this experience has helped me to say, now I want to be more involved in actually giving back and not only like the giving back as a cliche, but actually like participating in transformational processes. So like that is part of who I am as well. When you were asking who is Tharim, I am just a woman who likes to be involved in processes that in positive transformation, whether it is in my family, in my neighbor, in my city, in my company. Just try to do better in the little piece of work that I have, as I am trying to do now, as a worker, as a volunteer, as a mother.
Thank you for that, Tharim. So, how did you fall into project management, IT, and business consulting?
Oh, wow. Let's I started working in projects early in my life, but I didn't know that I was going to be in the project management path. I started actually from school. I was like always trying to do things to help my grandma with business ideas and that. Then at the university, I was involved with an enterprise lab for the Faculty of Business Administration. Then from there, I started working as a junior ERP consultant. And I think all this came after two big things in my life. When I was a child, I really wanted to learn English, but my family didn't have the resources like to pay for a course or for a teacher. Then I started learning with the things that I had handy, like a library book and learning some words, maybe English. Got me to be very intense in my dream to go abroad. Like when I was finishing my university, I told my mom I would like to go to the USA. She said, like, where are you going? Like, we don't have the money. But she saw that I was like very persistent in trying to learn, in like getting the English magazines and trying to learn things. And actually she was in a debt for 4 years to help me to go to the USA. And I was an assistant teacher, Spanish assistant teacher. And again, all that story is to say that decision of learning English brought me later to job opportunities. I was like, I didn't know when I started learning, because it was just, I like it. I was like very passionate about sounding funny, different, like being able to understand a different language. That was for me like, wow, this is so beautiful, like this is magic. And then when I finished the university, I went to the USA, and then I came back to Colombia, and I said, now that I know a little more English, I'm going to find a great job. That didn't happen, and I said, wow, now I know how to speak English. Why I'm not finding a nicer job? I said, maybe I need to improve more. I need to go back to the USA, and this time I'm going to stay there. Then I started working to save money, and my first job was as an ERP consultant. And I got this job because a friend of my mom's, the owner, to give me an opportunity. And the first question in the interview was like, what is your experience? And I said, like, I don't have experience in this, but everyone asked me for experience, and no one is willing to give me the chance to start gaining this experience. And then he said, like, I think you have potential. I'm going to give you the opportunity. And I worked for them for over a year, and then I went back to the USA. And being there, I was contacted by a friend who was working in this first job. And he said, oh, Tharim works in ERP, he is bilingual, and she can help us with some things. So I went back to Colombia, and that's when my story started with all these business consultant opportunities, project management. But I started like very junior. Like I always was like, okay, I'm not sure that I can do this. But when they asked me to do something, I was like, okay, if they are asking me, it's because they trust I can do it. So I'm going to ask people, like find a way to do my best. And that's how I started in this field. Just taking the risk and getting into from junior positions. Then I was leading some projects, maybe without the title, and then the thing started to advance. I just took little bigger projects every time. Then before coming to Canada, I was helping to create a PMO for an integrator, a technology integrator in Colombia, and it went well for the pandemic. After the pandemic, things changed a little, so I decided to retake this dream to come to Canada and then continue my path here.
That's actually inspiring, Tharim. From how you started from the very beginning, and you probably never thought that you would like to get that far. It's really a great opportunity when there is someone who believes in you, would like to give you that opportunity for you to be able to grow.
Yeah,
So
that's key.
Thanks for sharing that. How about, when did it hit you that single parenting was basically a live fire leadership boot camp?
Ooh. I think the biggest was having my first really big setback in life. I was living in Central America, and my daughter was around 2 years old, and then things didn't work out well there. I had a small business there, then I had to go back to Colombia and start basically from zero. Like, I went back to Colombia without money, without a job, without a business, and without the relationship, like without the father for my daughter. So I was facing this, and I said like, wow, this is gonna be tough. Like, every decision I make, everything I do is going to impact my daughter, it's going to impact my relationship with her. Then I need to be sure that I make the right decisions. But it was not easy. I started facing like all these situations where you start having like financial crisis, emotional crisis, that you start to doubt a lot about yourself and say like, I lost my time, I am 20 something or 30 something and I have done nothing with my life, and you start like questioning a lot. That like, oh no, I need to think through, and I need to really focus in what I want for my daughter and for me. And from then I started like trying to lead my own life. I said, if I am not willing to lead my own life, how can I be helping companies or teams or other people to go through objective if I am not able to do that in my own life? So I think that is part of that, like questioning myself a lot. Sometimes my daughter said like, oh, you are so hard with yourself, ma'am. And I said like, it's part maybe of my like trait. I said that has helped me like to be aware of I am not perfect. I can always be working on becoming better, and that helped me to develop those leadership skills in saying, oh, this is gonna be my goal. This is gonna be my goal in all different areas, for my daughter, for myself, for my finances, for everything. So I had to come up like out from that introverted trait that I have and say like, I need to do something. So that hit me really hard, because I said, I'm on my own, totally on my own. Anything that I do is going to affect my daughter the same way that anything that I do, any decision I make, for example, as a project manager, it's going to affect my team. If I don't say any thing in the right time to the right person, it's going to have an impact. The same thing happened with me in that moment. If I didn't talk to the right person or didn't do the right thing, then it was when I decided, when this hit me, and I said, oh well, I am back here, I am back in Colombia, I need to start over. Then I started to prepare myself to take the PMP certification. I said, I need to do something. I cannot say like, oh no, this is too tough and do nothing to change it. I need to do something to change it. So I was working in projects, but I didn't have my certification, and I said, now I'm going to get my certification. And things started to change after that, because then I started to focus in better things.
To be honest with you, single parenthood is actually a very tough decision and situation. And I believe that more than your strength, it's your grit that held you through. It's one thing to navigate through life's challenges, but to have that grit, you may not admit it to yourself, but innately you have that, And that is the reason why you are now sharing your experiences with us. So that's really inspiring and admiring.
Okay.
And from that, what is one skill you developed at home that has made you a better consultant and or project manager?
Think I only have one child, but still I am involved in many things. It's like I like to learn. I love to learn, and that's why even if I don't want to sometimes, or I try to call myself, I am involved in so many things sometimes. And one of those things that I had to learn was to be better at multitasking, and not only multitasking in the sense of doing many things at the same time, like having my phone, the hands on the kitchen, and then holding my baby. No, but multitasking in the sense of having the things in my mind and being able to manage them properly. Like say, okay, I need room in my mind for home, profession, volunteer, daughter, family, friends, many things that we all have. But it was like I need to be sure that I make time for everything. So I need to be sure that I am using my time wisely. So it was hard for me, but I had to start working a lot in time management, and it is still a challenge for me, and I think for many of us. But yes, that has helped me to realize that we all have what we need to do great things. Sometimes we have more than we actually need to do wonderful things, and we don't use it all. Like when I had my baby and I had to start doing so many things for her, then I realized that I wasted so much time when I didn't have her. And I said, wow, I really could have done many things, and now I have her and I am doing this with her. Can you imagine what I could have been able to do if I had used my time wisely and my strengths wisely before? That was a nice skill: multitasking, time management, also learning to read people's faces and reactions, and just because I don't need to say a word, and my daughter reads me and I read her, and now I know we communicate without talking. So it's going a little beyond in communication as well. That is also a nice skill that I have developed. Like listening better also, like I need to listen to my daughter, be there, and that's something that I improved thanks to having her in my life.
And with all that experiences that you have had, Tharim, how do you handle emotional complexity when your stakeholders, both your kid, your daughter, and also your client, need something from you now? You mentioned about time management. Would you be able to expand more about that, handling emotional complexity when both of them need something from you all at the same time?
I think for me, I think we all go through different processes in different stages of our lives. And for me, it was becoming very self-aware of my emotions, understand what are the triggers of my positive emotions, my negative emotions, and be prepared to accept them and to control them with those unexpected things happen. And unexpected things happen all the time in projects, in family, in my case with my daughter. I learned to know myself. I need to learn what helps me to keep myself calm, what are the things that I need to consider when I'm going through this. All like my daughter is asking me, Mom, I need this now. The customer is saying like, I need this for tomorrow. I need this week. Like, take a deep breath, and it's not easy. It's easier to say it than actually done it. But I think being aware of myself, and this is a process that I have tried to evolve like for many years, like try to learn a little more about myself every day. And then I realized For example, that's how I realized that I was by nature introverted. I realized that I love learning, and sometimes that's why I try to take too much up and to do too many things, because I like to learn, and that's how I learned that I am a restless person. Like, it really need to be doing more, even if it is at home or my work or the community. Then I had to think about how can I prepare myself for those moments I don't like to feel unprepared. And that happens a lot when we are mothers, because we need to run, take the kids there, and then go back. And so it's something that we cannot avoid. So I said, okay, what's something that I can do better to avoid this frustration when I need to rush? Maybe I need to work more in those time management skills. Maybe I need to work more in the preparation part. Like, I need to leave things ready and to think about, I'm going to need this tomorrow at this time. So maybe I can start having things ready from today or from a week before. And the much I learn about myself, the easier it becomes to know how I am going to behave for a specific situation. So I know, this is going to cause me frustration. Okay, how do I deal with frustration? How do I deal with pressure? How do I deal with people criticizing me? How do I deal with people sending me negative thoughts? So it's like, the more I know myself, the stronger I become to face that, like in a, let's say, in a healthy way. Secret self-awareness.
Being self-aware, yes. Yeah. And I think that also relates to the next question, wherein I wanted to know, like, how have your boundaries evolved? Like, how do you protect your time between personal and professional projects? So when you said that you were you just have to have that self-awareness, I think it also relates to this question.
Actually, this is one of the biggest challenges for me. Trying to learn about myself and trying to set boundaries, that if I am try to be kind, and for a long time has been for me hard sometimes to say no, whether it is to my family, to my coworkers, anything. Now with my daughter, especially now that she's getting older, I had to learn to set boundaries, because I said I need more time for her. I need time for my work. I need time for my professional development, but I need time for myself as well. Like, for me, as a regular person, not a worker, not a mom, just as a woman, I need time for me. So I think that one has been one of the biggest challenges. And then what I have done in the last 5 years maybe is I am having a list of priorities. Then I try to review that list frequently, like every few months, when I start feeling like a little like, this is stress. There's something that is causing me stress, that is causing me like, I feel like something is not in balance. Then I say, I need to review this and check where I am going beyond what I need to do. Then I have this list, and every few months I say, what is my top priority? My top priority is my wellness and my daughter's wellness. To be able to achieve this, I need to have like my financial stability. I have to achieve my professional development, to be good at my work, because that's more on my personal goals. Like, I want to be good in this, good in this. Then I think the key is for setting those boundaries is first having my top priority clear. And I say my top priority is wellness. What is going to provide this wellness? My professional development, my personal development. And every time I need to make a decision, think about how far can I go with this? Or if I am including more things in my list of things to do, how is this going to impact my top priority? Can I go a little bit? Maybe. I said, it's just half an hour more, so I'm going to squish this in my schedule, and there's not going to be a problem. But if I keep squishing little things like this other 30 minutes and this other 30 minutes, then then that's when the imbalance comes, and then I need to say, oh, let's go back to my priorities. I have that list for me, and I say like the relationship with my daughter is top in that list as well. Service to the community, I have that in my list. So I say how much service to the community I am willing to give, how much to be still in the healthy part of my decisions. So it's that soon. I have my list of priorities.
So, with defining those lists, how about the unknown? What are your go-to tools or mindsets for managing the unknown, quote unquote? Whether it's your daughter or a tech stakeholder or any other thing that you think that is not part of that list that you just mentioned a while ago.
I think it's to be aware that we don't know it all, and we cannot handle everything, and there are going to be all these things that come our way that are going to be new or unexpected. So I think for that, it's first be like honest with myself. I'm going to find things that are going to maybe hit me in the face and say like, oh, I didn't expect that. But again, I think one of my secret tools is to be very proactive in trying to learn, like curiosity. For example, when I go into a project about something that is new for me, usually you receive like a context, like information, but I try to go a little beyond in terms of, okay, let's research what is this, let's try to learn this vocabulary to be in context, try to see what is the industry doing for this type of area that I'm going to be working for in this project. So I think one of those tools is curiosity, like always be willing and humble to learn and to ask questions if you don't know. Because we are not know-it-alls. Like I am not supposed to know everything in every field. So if I find something new, I can find the people who know about it. I can find the people who can maybe give me advice. I can find people who can give me very good and nice ideas. And I think it's to be open to that, to be humble, to say there are people who know more than me, more than I do, and be able and willing to learn. And maybe what we were saying before that
All good.
Yes, I think in general I think the key is try to keep a positive attitude, and also think when you come to these new things, whether it's a stakeholder or whether it's my daughter, like bringing me to new stuff, I think it's bring a positive attitude, be open-minded, be, how do they say? They say like plan for the worst but prepare for plan for the worst but hope for the best.
Correct.
But hope for the best. It's like, okay,
There you go.
I'm gonna be ready for things if they are not nice, but also I'm going to be planning with positive action in mind. So I think that's key.
Regarding, let's go back to redefining your priorities, Tharim. What is something you unlearned from traditional project management once parenthood redefined your priorities?
I think one thing I have learned now that I am a mother, or since daughter is now 12, but I think I have learned that not everything is urgent. Even though everything could be important, not everything is urgent. So I have learned to try to prioritize those things that come daily in my life and say, well, is the world going to end if I don't do this today? Is this going to cause me harm? Or is this going to harm my daughter if I don't do it? Is this going to cause the project failure if I don't do it right in this moment? And what do I need to do right now to avoid, for example, the project going the bad way, or my daughter doing wrong things? Thing is that it's understanding where to set your focus in the present, like in the moment. Like if I say, okay, today, what is, and I try to do every day that, like, what is my list of priorities today? What I need to accomplish today? If I don't send this report, for example, what is going to happen? If I don't send this email, maybe say, I don't send this email today, I'm going to send it tomorrow. What could happen if I don't send that email? If I don't reach out to that person? And that happened sometimes in the past. Like I said, I'm going to send this email tomorrow because I need to finish this today. And when I sent the email tomorrow, the person was gone and was gone for vacation. And I was like, oh no, I should have sent that email yesterday. So this has taught me, like, I need to always think about what is going to be the worst scenario. How do I prepare for those things that are really urgent? And before, when I was younger, before my daughter, everything was urgent. Like I could go overnight working in a project. I could go several days going to bed like in the very late at night and maybe sleeping just a few hours. And it was like, oh, this is so cool because I'm doing so great things. Everything was urgent. And now I realize, and I said, no, like going back to that top of priorities, I say urgent is to take care of myself, of my health, because if I am not in a good shape, I am not going to be a good mother, I am not going to be a good employee, I am not going to be a good leader, I am not going to be a good project manager. So the top priorities, I need to be in a good shape, I need to be healthy to be able to do all my other stuff in a proper way. So I think that has come with being a mother, like realizing what is really urgent, what is important, what could wait, what happened if I don't do this now, what could happen. So that's a big teaching for me in my case.
I think I can also relate, being a mom. It has definitely transformed your ways, your workflow, your ways of thinking. You mentioned a while ago, if you could have just thought about this from a long time ago, it would have been different. But then, experiences will always be our best teacher.
Yeah.
To relate to that, Tharim, what kind of leadership model, because you already mentioned about, being a parent has changed you. What kind of leadership model do you want to leave behind for your daughter, for your team, for your industry?
I think the role is to be a positive leader. I would say a transformational leader, even if, or better. Let's start over. I think overall it's going to be being a positive leader, transformational leader, no matter what your personality is. Like in my case, I cannot say that being an introvert is an excuse to stop the things that I can do. I just need to learn that this is part of who I am. How can I use it to do the things that I would like to do? Maybe I am not that fearless to go in a big public scenario to give a big speech, but I can do things with my own personality, with my own skills, with my own traits, and I think it's what I would like for her to take. Like, it can be a positive leader. There are leaders that are not that positive. So then it's to be a leader that inspires, that motivate others to do their best, to contribute to wherever she is, whether it is a company, a community, a group of friends, or a band of rock, whatever she is, that she is a positive leader, that she's really driving that positive change. And I think going back to the question you asked me at the beginning, what moved me? I think what really moved me is that desire to really contribute to positive changes around me. Like I don't need to like to be a famous person. I don't need to be the president. Maybe I am not the best. I learn new things every day. I am not perfect. I am not the best project manager. I am not the best mom. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I think it's just what you have, and I think that moves me a lot. Like trying to be transformed in a positive way, at least what I have around. Like my neighbors, like if I can smile to my neighbor and try to be nice and change her day or their day, that moves me and say, oh, I did good today. Or if I can go in my work and do something that my team don't expect, they don't expect me to do, then it's like, okay, I am doing something to go a little beyond in a positive way. So I think that's what I expect for her. I think is to be a positive leader, to be true to herself, to her values, and try to change wherever she goes. That's what I expect.
And do you have any thoughts about common misconceptions about working single moms in project management or consulting that you would like and love to clear up?
Yes. Wow. I think there are a few, but let's say that the one that I have seen most back in Colombia and here maybe is that when you are a single parent, you are less committed or less available because you are too busy handling too many things, like the kid on your own, like finances on your own, and too many things on your own. And there's this belief that, okay, no, better don't come to a mom or to a single mom. It's gonna be worse. If it is a mom, maybe it's hard because she's gonna be busy. If it is a single mom, it's gonna be harder. But no, I think the truth is that that the single parents are actually very committed when we are into something, when we are assigned to a job, to a task. And I think that is because all those things that we have mentioned before, being a parent drives us in a different way. Like we need to be more focused, we need to use our time wisely, we need to keep our priorities in mind. My priority as a single parent is my wellness. Part of that wellness is having a stability. Stability is having a professional development, a nice job, all that. So it's that matters for me. So my job matters, my responsibility matters. So I don't have someone telling me how important is my job, because I know, and I have this urgency to do things. I know that I cannot waste time, because wasting time is going to punish my daughter. Wasting time is going to punish my own time, like my self-development time. Then I think that's a misconception sometimes, not always. Some people are aware of this and they say, I like to work with single parents. They are so committed. And I have an example. There was a friend of mine back in Colombia. She was a single mom and she had her kid early in her life. She was like 16 when she had her kid. But she was very responsible, like in her studies. She went through the university, she finished, and she started like very humble. Like she started working like as a front desk clerk, then like a receptionist in this company. Then they started moving her like to higher positions. Then she was not the receptionist, she was the supervisor for this, like the office manager. And then she is now, recently, her son is now maybe in her 20s. And she is now one of the marketing managers in a very nice technology company in Colombia. It's like a multinational company. And I said, wow, that happened because she was a responsible mother, because she was committed, because she knew that if she messed up with her job, she was messing up with her child. teacher as well. So she was very focused in saying, I'm going to do my best here answering the phones. I'm going to do my best here sending these emails. I'm going to do my best preparing this schedule. I'm going to do my best. And she was doing her best in every single position, even if it was not the manager position. And that was what took her to that managing position. And she's a single parent, and everyone loves her because they know that if you work with her, you're going to have a nice team. So I think that's part of the single parenting super strengths or superpowers. Saying, I'm committed because I know that I need to be committed, because I love to be committed, because this is part of now my strengths. It's like a responsibility with my kids. And I admire profoundly single parents that have more than one child, because I said, wow, I have one, and sometimes I like full hands. I admire profoundly single parents with 2-3 kids. And there are many stories like that back in Colombia, for example, in Latin America, here perhaps as well. For sure, I think single parenting in that case develops so much capacity to deal with hard things, with unexpected things, with crisis, and helps you to focus on what really matters. So
I think because you cannot rely on anyone else except yourself.
Yeah.
And that there is a little human being also relying on you. So I don't want to call it pressure, but I guess it's more of a mindset. So that's something to be really admired and to look.
So that's why we single parents and parents as well, easy parents,
Yes.
we are often, I would say, some of the most reliable people in the team. Because if we say, I'm going to do this, I know I need to do it because it's not,
Correct.
It's not only because that pressure, as you say, it's also because I'm being a role model for my kids. If I am teaching her to be honest, to be responsible, to deliver her projects on time at the school, then I need to set an example and say, I am being honest, I'm delivering my projects on time, I'm doing my best, even if things don't work well, I am doing my best. At least at the end I can say, I did my best.
Correct. And whatever responsibilities or mindsets that you have at home, you extend that beyond your personal boundaries, and that translates to how you work, how you deal with your team members. Yes. I would like to know also, what is that one unexpected leadership lesson that your daughter has taught you? This one is I'm really interested to know about.
There are a few, but I think the biggest one is to be present and to make time for what is important. And it is funny because when she was like 4 years old maybe, and I was working from home and she was around me, sometimes she would say something, I'm going to say that again. and then she would say something, and I said like, okay, yes, baby, yes, that's good, nice. And she would say, are you listening? And I said, yes, I am listening, but you are not listening with your eyes. So like, okay. So she's teaching me every day to be present. Like, she's teaching me, if I am going to talk to her, I need to put my phone away. I need to look at her, to listen to her with my eyes, with my body, with like be really for her in that moment. So I think it's that is a big lesson, because sometimes we are into so many things when we are dealing with teams, or when we are in projects, or if we are a leadership position, and we are in so many things that we are like multitasking a lot, but multitasking in that sense of like busy here, and we are not paying attention many times to what people are actually telling us. But like in the teams, I think one of the key skills for project managers is to listen to our stakeholders. Listen fully, like being really present there, trying to understand what they are telling us, not only with words, but trying to understand the expressions, trying to understand the message behind what they are telling. And as parents, we sometimes need to learn that, because sometimes the kids don't say the things in a clear way, or they don't say the things we adults would understand. I think that's another skill, trying to read and trying to listen beyond the words, trying to really understand our stakeholders, to make time to understand what is your motivation, what moves my stakeholder, what is important for this person in the team. Is it to achieve a KPI? Is it to make money? Is it to fulfill a goal? Is it to get a promotion? Those things matter, because that helps to create a nice dynamic in the team, to understand these people. Maybe this person in the team doesn't like to talk. Maybe I'm going to send an email, or maybe I'm just going to send a message. So I think she's teaching me also to learn how to deal with people around me. And again, this part of self-awareness is not only about me. It's not being selfish and I'm going to learn about myself. It's also important because in that learning myself, I am also learning about others. Like, maybe this person is different to me. Maybe this person is an extrovert. Maybe this person likes to be really social. This person likes to talk a lot. Then it helps me to understand that we are all different, and it is not wrong. It's nice to have different people in the teams, but that's also something that parenting is teaching me. Like, I need to understand that we are all different, and also in that of understanding others is learning to be very proactive and to go one step ahead. Like, sometimes I tell my daughter, now that she's a little older, I tell her like, okay, get ready this, and she said like, I already have it ready. Like, oh really? But I didn't tell you. Well, you didn't need to tell me everything to to have it, no? So that's also a nice thing. Like, she's getting more mature, and that can happen in the teams. Like, when you listen, when you give the opportunity for people to do what they are good at, and to do their part, then they're going to be more independent and more efficient as well.
It's all I'm just inspired. That's it. You being a single mom, you being able to transform your career from the get-go and what you are now. It's really actually inspiring. It's all of this while you're talking. The thing that I'm thinking about, the word that I'm thinking about is grit. That's all I can. It takes a lot to be able to handle everything, especially now that your daughter is how old is your daughter now?
She's 12, almost 13.
Oh,
so
yes, my daughter. Oh, okay. She's in grade 7.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Now I understand why it's like I can relate with you while you're talking, while you're sharing your experience. I'm like, with all of this, Tharim, there's so many things, when everything feels urgent at home and at work, how do you choose what deserves your immediate attention?
I think there's a little of risk management there, between all those skills that we learn or that we develop, improved. It's thinking about what is the worst that can happen if I don't check on this right now, or what is the worst that can happen this situation at work or at home. So it's developing that risk skill art of trying to guess the probability and the impact of everything that is going to happen. Like, how likely is that this is going to happen if I don't do it right now? And what is the impact if this happens? Like, for example, if my daughter is calling me and she's asking for my help, like in a hurry, like mom, and I say, okay, what is the worst that can happen if I don't go? Can she fail? Can she hurt herself? And what is the probability of that happening now that she's 12? She knows a little better how to move around, so maybe I can take a little time and check, like, okay, is everything okay? Just maybe say a word, let her know that I am listening. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes when everything feels urgent for the stakeholders, they want things like, I need to solve it now. And sometimes what they need is just to be listened. They just need to know that we care about them. Sometimes you don't need to solve the things right now, but you need to communicate right now. Like if they say, oh, I have this and this is going to be bad and this is going to damage the project, or this is going to delay the timeline. And maybe it's urgent, or it feels urgent, but they don't always expect the solution right now. They just expect for us to show that we care, to tell them, okay, I am listening. What is the problem? What is the worst that can happen? How can we approach that? So I think communication is key here. When something feels urgent, communicate. Like when you get hurt, the first they ask you is like, can you tell your name? How do you feel in a scale from 1 to 10? How hard does it hurt? Then trying to dimension that, like, what is the worst that can happen? Show that I care. I think that's the important thing at home or at work. If someone sends me an email and I reply tomorrow, and it's something, or even if it is not urgent, the person is not going to be happy because I didn't show that I care. Unless to at least say, okay, I'm going to reply you later. I need to check this, like with more calm. It happens the same at home. The same.
Yeah, acknowledging a person's inquiry, however big or small that will be. Well, like you mentioned, it doesn't have to be urgent, but some way or another, you just have to acknowledge, and the person will already appreciate. Let the person know, I got your message, I got your question, let me get back to you when I have time. And it depends on urgency and priority as well, like you mentioned a while ago.
Sometimes we need to improve that part. Sometimes we say, like with my daughter, or when we are already like in a familiar environment, we say like, oh, they know that I'm going to reply later. But sometimes you just need to do it. Like you just need to do it and let them know that even if they know you and they know that you are going to work around it and you're going to do it, it's nice to just send a message and say, okay, receive it, thanks. I don't have time, and they say, receive it, thank you. I will check on it. Yes.
Correct. So with that said, with all of our discussion today, what advice would you give to other single parents out there trying to grow their professional journey without, burning out?
Oh wow! I think I would need a long coffee for it with them. Okay. I think there are some key ones that have worked for me. I think the first one is to be humble to receive help, to be thankful when we receive it, and to be aware of your own process. I think the key as a single parent is don't compare yourself with other people's experiences, even if they are single parents as well. Don't compare yourself with others. Don't compare your process and your progress with the process and the progress of others, because you are unique. You have your own story, you have your own goals, and you have your own challenges. So you are different. Your story is unique. So just be thankful for what you have, the opportunities that you have right now. I think the key is be thankful. I had a bad situation when I came to Canada. I came to Canada trying to find a change for some setbacks that I had in the past, and I said, wow, now I'm here. This is going to be great. And just less than a month after arriving here, I was a victim of a scam, and I lost part of my money here. And I said, oh, well, now I need to start from zero again. Well, I was starting from zero, but I didn't expect this to be so bad. Just arriving in Canada, I lost my money, then I start with a different perspective. Then I changed my mind at that moment, and I had to learn to be more thankful, even for the little things. And my daughter taught me a lot in that moment, because I had this let's say, how do you say that word in English? When I lost the money, then it was hard, and I was like so focused in that, and I was thinking like, oh, I could have used that to buy this, or to get this for my daughter, or to get this for my process here. And I was like really into that for a while. And my daughter came one day and said like, Mom, and she was 9 years old. When she came, she was 9 years old. She was 9 years old, and she said like, you already lost that. You cannot recover it. Like, just look forward and move forward. And I'm like, oh, wow. Is that how I am behaving? That my daughter realized about how negative I was seeing things, and she had to tell me to stop being that negative. So then I think is be thankful even for the little things. And I started to focus on that, and I said, my daughter is okay, she's healthy, I am healthy. If I am healthy, I can do anything. I can go work any place, I can learn, I can move from this bad situation. And then that helped me to realize being alive is a reason to be thankful. My daughter is a reason to be thankful. Have people around me, nice people, that is a reason to be thankful. I don't need money to be thankful. The money will come. And it came from different sources, but when I changed my mind and I start focusing in the positive, because they say the things that you focus on are the things that grow. If you focus in the problems grow. If you focus in the things that, the blessings, the good things that you have, those will grow. And that was a change that I had when I came here, thanks to my daughter and to some people around me. I started working more on those gratitude skills and say, I am thankful for this. I am thankful because I had food to eat today. I am thankful because I can walk. I am thankful because I can smile. And many things that you are not aware of in your busy days and that. And I said, oh, I need to be thankful. So to wrap up, that's the advice. Be humble, be humble. Be thankful, be aware of your own process. Don't compare with others. Just work on your own progress and your own process, and things will come. You don't need to do it right now. You don't need to compare. I saw a message, like all these sayings, and it said, don't compare your chapter 1 with other people's chapter 20. So if you are starting today, it's okay. You don't need to hurry. They are good in their 20s, you can be good in your 30s, and it's not bad. Maybe it's frustrated at some point, but just work with what you have right now. So be humble, be thankful, and work on your own process. Don't compare to others, just work on your own progress. I need to be better today than I was yesterday. Me, I don't need to be better than Sheila, I don't need to be better than my neighbor, I need to be better than myself. Tomorrow I'm going to be better than I am today. I think that's key. start comparing with others, because then you're going to be miserable. Just work on yourself.
Correct.
Compete with yourself. Like, I'm going to be
Yeah.
better tomorrow.
Starts with you, ends with you.
Yes, exactly. For single parents and all parents, not only single parents, but for everyone.
For
One
everyone.
other
Correct.
thing, I think it is okay to ask for help. Sometimes we are led by pride, and we say like, oh, no, I am a professional, I need a reputation to take care of. No, it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to share your failures. That can teach other people. When I had this scam, I was afraid to share it because I said, oh, they're going to say like, oh, Tharim was so naive. And I said, no, maybe I was, but it is okay to share who you are. Like, it is okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I need a little push to move forward. And it is okay to trust sometimes in people who are willing to help you. So as a single parents, we cannot do it all on our own. Even if we say, oh, we are single parents and we are so strong and we can do it all. The truth is, we are not doing everything on our own. We are always having people around us that are willing to help, and it is okay sometimes to ask for help. Even if it's just, I need someone to listen. I am having a crazy day, and I want to call a friend and I want to tell her like, oh, this is going so hard. That helps, and it is okay. And it is okay to ask for help. So that would be other advice for me, for single parents. Don't hide in yourself. It is okay to say, I need a little help.
Thank you so much, Tharim. Really, I'm sure the audience would like to know more about Tharim. I don't want to call this an interview. I want to call this as a chit chat with Tharim.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Indeed, keeping it real. So I'm happy, and I'm sure the whole, not just the project management community, but people who are all professionals, individuals, even students, most especially single parents, will be very proud, to and happy to be able to watch and listen to this conversation. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Sheila. And yes, maybe we need to meet either for a real coffee and share all those other experiences.
I would love that. I would really love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tharim. Have a great day. And this is PMI News Desk. I'll see you again soon in our next episode. Thank you, Tharim. Bye.
Bye. Every time.